The last time I've been on a date has probably been almost a year. My last relationship. Yeah.
When was the last time?
That was AMARE.
In love.
Oh no. I'm not in love. No. I like to say the last time. I'm sorry. No. I jumped before you finished your sentence. The last date, yeah, that was a relationship with him, but so I haven't been on a date since then.
So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. Listen, we talk about celebrity lives sometimes, but not because we're trying to compare ourselves to them. But as men, we understand that if a man with fame and notoriety and millions of dollars can deal with some of these issues with women, then the average man out here had better wrap his mind around the concept that he can deal with some of these things as well. And one of the greatest examples of this over the recent months has been Russell Wilson and Ciara. Now, we know how she is holding on to her time in the streets and continuing to champion herself as an older woman who can still be for the streets while having a beta male simp mangina husband at home. But here's the problem. You as a man can't necessarily look at it from the woman's perspective. You need to look at it from the man's perspective. Why would you meet a woman who has all of this experience in the streets and wife her up? Especially when no one else has wifed her up. Now, when I say someone like Future or someone, they say, well, Future don't wife any woman up. Hey man, listen, who else is wifing these women up? See, if you look at his time with Ciara, nobody else who has been with Ciara has wifed her up either. And so now she adds AMARE STOUDEMIRE to the mix. Former Phoenix Suns star, former New York Knicks star, NBA player. She adds him to the mix. So when you take all of these different things, and these are just the public ones. I didn't know anything about AMARE STOUDEMIRE. What about the private ones? What about the ones before she blew up? What about the ones that no one knows about? What about the guys who weren't famous? I'm not saying that a woman can't do what she wants to do. I'm saying that if a woman decides to live that life, she does not deserve to be a wife. And the only man who will make her a wife is a beta male simp mangina. Now, as I stated, I'm not saying that a woman can't do what she wants to do. A woman can do what she wants to do. She can be who she wants to be. She can live how she wants to live. We're talking about the man who meets that woman. See, regardless of how beautiful a woman is to you, regardless of how she moves her body, regardless of what turns you on about her, that's just physical attraction. Physical attraction is necessary for intimacy. Marriage is not. And I'm not telling you to go out here and just traipse around and do all of these things, but unless you were a virgin when you met her and she was a virgin when you met her, you've already been out there traipsing around already. The thing about this society is people believe you can go out there and live whatever life you want to live and then come back and fix it and act like it didn't happen. You can't do it. When a woman has been out there mingling and mixing it in the streets all these years, man, when you put her in the position to be your wife, you're going to find out the same thing that Russell Wilson is finding out. She can't let the streets go. Here's the real thing. A woman like Ciara, no matter how much fame and notoriety she gets, no matter how many other things she gains fame and notoriety for, instinctively, she's for the streets. The part of her that's for the streets is going to be what she clings to the most. So instead of putting herself out there and saying, hey, I'm a wife now, I'm a mother now, I have these responsibilities, I have these things to do, I'm going to graduate and grow from that younger version of myself. Instead, I'm going to show the world that I can still do it. But here's the problem. It doesn't matter that you can still do it. When you add still to something, that means you're doing something you should have been grown beyond. I can still do it just like them. But see, they're supposed to be doing it. You're not. Megan Thee Stallion has had a great effect on some of these women. Ciara goes from going on into her adult life and going on to back to where she was because Megan Thee Stallion has her out in public twerking. The reality of the scenario is this. Anything that you use your physicality for has a short shelf life. Professional athletes, monsters when they're in their late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, monsters. Start going down the hill around 33, 34. So as great as LeBron is right now, you look at him when he was 22, beast mode. Light years ahead of this guy we see now as far as athleticism goes. You have to start playing with your mind. So you don't see him flying around dunking like you used to. Vince Carter, perfect example. Greatest in-game dunker I've ever seen. Greatest dunker of all time, in my opinion. But later in his career, he was 38, 39, 40 years old. You know what Vince Carter did? He shot the jump shot. He could still dunk. He still dunks sometimes. Mostly in practice. Because at a certain point, you grow beyond the things that rely solely on your physicality. You see all this twerking she be doing? That ain't got nothing to do with being a singer. See, if she's a singer and she does that when she's singing, that's a totally different thing. But if you're just twerking and you're not performing, you're not on stage, then you're not performing at that particular time in your career. There wasn't no record. All those twerks and all of that, there was no record. She was just doing it because it was the popular thing to do. We live in a society where when people mature, they want to show that they can still do what young people do. I come from a time where, man, we couldn't wait to be grown. We wanted to do the thing the grown men was doing. And that goes for men and women in this society. Grown men are trying to do what young guys do, and grown women are trying to do what young girls do. And I'm looking at everybody like, man, what the hell wrong with y'all? And it's more than just about how you dress. Sometimes you have to graduate and grow into the next level of your life.
The next level of your life.
Some of you are late bloomers. You don't get a chance to live and do all of these things. So you don't see me rocking a lot of jewelry and all that, man, because I did that in my 20s. It wasn't that for me to walk up in a jewelry store, man, bust out some bands, man, cop me a new Cuban, cop me some new rings, man, cop me whatever. New watch, bracelet. It wasn't nothing for me to do that. Wasn't that for me to rock around with 3 carats in my ears? Nothing. You know why? Because that's the type of thing a young man does. Now at this point, I wouldn't dare walk up in the jewelry store, man, and buy that type of stuff, man. That's young man's stuff. Because, listen, young men's gold are fool's gold. And as you get older and more mature, you realize that, hey, that was fool's gold. I enjoyed it when I was young. I'm not telling you don't do it as a young man. But when you get older, you got to start handling life from a different perspective, man. Ciara can still be a farmer without shaking her ass. She ain't got no business as a woman that's closing in on 40, man, squatting down on the ground like that in all her pictures. You let the Megans of the world do that. You let the young Miamis and the JTs of the world do that. You let these younger women who have an excuse to do something so foolish because they haven't matured out of it. She should have been matured out of it. And the fact that this sucker simp is okay with this, man, it's about the image that it portrays to the rest of the world. You telling these young guys, okay, man, it's okay to wife up a woman that's for the streets and let her continue to be for the streets after you wife her up. It's not. It's really, really not. So what I say to you, man, is this. Stop looking at situations that cause you to accept things that you shouldn't accept because someone else is doing it. No man should be okay with his wife doing this. I don't care what she used to do. The problem in this society is like Bishop T.D. Jakes said, we are raising women to be men, but that's not entirely true. What we're really doing is raising men to be women. And then nature corrects itself by giving the masculine energy to the women of the society. That's what's going on. She's being who she's being because she can still get a husband. These women out here wilding out doing the things they're doing because they can still get a man. We got a show coming up tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where there's an Instagram thought model who's been traipsing through the industry, dealing with different guys, Chris Browns, Kodak Black, Nick Cannon. And for 10 years, she was going around with AIDS because she hadn't gotten tested ever. And you mean to tell me we're going to perpetuate the energy, man, that this type of woman you need to have around you? Nah, man. So here she is again, adding another man to the list of men who saw her as something to play with, not to stay with. And of course, women are going to say,
well, those men, they missed out. Russell Wilson got him a good one.
Russell Wilson ain't got him a good one. Russell Wilson is the good one. the good boy, the nice guy. And once again, nice guys never win. So if you're about to make this mistake and your woman is for the streets, you let her stay in the streets, homie. Because just because you wife her up don't mean she coming out the streets. She just going to go from being a single woman in the streets to being a wife in the streets. And who wants that? What's the whole purpose of getting a wife if she's still for the streets, man? Never, never wife up a woman just based on physical attraction, which is what Russell Wilson admit he did it. He saw her dancing in a video and he had to have her. And he got her now. Or does he? Because when you see these images, these are the images of a woman who's still for the streets. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though.
Now, I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her.